Triple H was shocked at Saraya's WWE departure. Plus, we find out scrapped plans for Saraya and a WWE return that didn't quite happen. And which popular weapon was banned from Extreme Rules. It's all in the wrestling news right now. Saraya's appearance on AEW has been a conversation piece. Saraya being cleared to wrestle has been a bigger one as well.
Yeah. After like a few teases on AEW as well, people saying, oh, she's not cleared to wrestle. Britt Baker said it backstage, and then they got into a little altercation in the ring. Ooh, exciting time.
Now, how did it come to pass that someone like Saraya, who had been ostensibly such a WWE person through and through, came to leave the company? Well, Fightful shed a bit of light on that, saying, we were told that Vince McMahon and John Laurinaitis chose not to renew her deal when it expired, and when the announcement was made publicly by Saraya was when she was informed. So, like, not long after she was told they weren't renewing the contract, that was when Saraya put out the thing saying, I'm leaving. Those that we spoke to said that Saraya's deal was surprisingly low. She got lowballed financially, and much of her outside projects were restricted to some degree. However, we're told by those familiar with the situation that Saraya was actually offered the general manager position by the new WWE regime about a month after her deal was not renewed. So they had very late in the party ideas, plans for her to return to TV in a general manager role, which was something that she had done before.
Yes, she had, yeah.
How do you think that she did as a general manager first time round? I had to really flog my memory to try and recall.
I mean, well, I think you pretty much just said it there.
The fact that we had to flog our memory to figure it out.
She had the stuff with the Kabuki Warriors for a little bit as well. Do you remember?
I remember she was managing them. That was good fun.
But then again, like nothing really much came from that either, to be honest. So, yeah, underutilized, I think, to say the least, in those positions.
Fightful go on to say higher-ups also mentioned to her that if she ever wanted to return to the ring and wrestle, they would make it happen. And it's interesting that they say that, because from what Fightful tell us, Saraya was really keen to get cleared, wasn't she?
She was, yeah. So Fightful also saying there's a lot of conjecture and rumours about WWE getting Saraya numerous doctors to get her cleared, but we're told that's not true, to the extent that WWE didn't have her checked at all for a return to the ring. And Saraya actually went through 3 extensive health checks to gain clearance for an in-ring return herself. We're even told that WWE wasn't interested in bringing her back prior to the new regime and wouldn't sign off on x-rays to have her examined, and that the case was closed as far as they were considered. Now, ultimately, Triple H's new regime did make efforts to get Saraya back into the fold, and everything we've heard points to a positive relationship between those two sides, with Triple H being shocked her deal wasn't renewed by the previous regime. The information we've gained, that's Fightful, is that ultimately the freedom to do outside projects without giving up a cut and other deal terms led her to signing with AEW.
And that's a thing that a lot of people we hear see as a major positive of signing with AEW. It's a creative freedom, and it's a financial freedom as well.
Yeah, of course.
So you can go and do stuff like Adam Cole, who has just been above all the drama in AEW because he's just been sat there playing.
He's been playing Mario RPG.
Playing Mario RPG, like just living his best life. You know, get well soon, Adam. But I love the fact that as everyone's falling out in lumps, he's just there going, Mario RPG is very underrated.
He's like, listen to this banger from Mario RPG. It's so good.
What a guy. So Triple H was keen to have it back. Do you think that maybe it might be something that's explored again with Triple H and Saraya? They're on good terms. I mean, she's only just got to AEW, but whether or not in a few years' time.
I mean, that's it, you know, now that when contracts finally come to a conclusion and things need to be renewed, I'm sure there will be some interest from Triple H on the WWE side of things to try and get her back in, because, you know, she made her career in WWE and she's a big part of the women's revolution as well. And I think it'd be remiss of WWE not to look into getting her back once her AEW contract is up.
When is WWE Hall of Famer Edge coming back? Well, he might be off for a little bit now, as he has been getting back into the old acting malarkey. The old acting malarkey. You may have seen this in Variety magazine. He's landed the role as Ares in the upcoming Disney Plus series Percy Jackson and the Olympians, based on the book and the films, Percy Jackson and the Lightning Thief, about a guy that steals a lightning bolt with hilarious consequences.
Dangerous.
4 stars, some funny bits. He's going to play Ares, the god of war, in a recurring role. That's gonna pop out. I like Edge in stuff.
Yeah, me too.
I find that he's one of those. Alex and I watched Vikings all the way through, and I find myself, when we got later into the series, doing the Leonardo DiCaprio gif.
Yeah, there he is.
There he is.
There he is.
It's Edge. It's great seeing him popping up and stuff. He's good.
He's really good. I know a lot of people rave about him in Vikings. I personally haven't seen it before, but I've seen clips of him acting on it, and he is phenomenally good. Like, he's got a ridiculous amount of talent, that man. And I think he'll absolutely play this role perfectly. I think the description was he's like quite a cocky, maybe not necessarily the sharpest tool in the shed, as that song once said, but he, when it comes to it, he uses his fists as the God of War does. Not my God of War. Kratos is my God of War, but there we go. We'll get on. That's for another video, another day. But yeah, I think he's going to play that character well, because like sort of the parts of him in this character almost feel as though they are taken from the Rated R Superstar. Although Rated R Superstar, sharpest tool in the shed, because he's always thinking ahead. But
sharpest tool in the shed.
Sharpest tool in the
thinking
shed.
ahead.
Like an axe, like God of War's, like Kratos' axe. Mental.
That is a weapon that we would not see in a WWE ring, but it's not the weapon that was banned from Extreme Rules. What's the weapon that we didn't see?
We have
Andrew?
weapons. Do we have weapons?
We have weapons.
It was thumbtacks, Tom. So on Ronda Rousey's YouTube gaming stream, Ronda revealed a pitch for her Extreme Rules match with Liv Morgan, which obviously we know she won to become the SmackDown Women's Champion. She said, I pitched the finish to be on thumbtacks. Liv would put down thumbtacks. She'd powerbomb me onto the thumbtacks. And as a repeat of our finish from before, I'd go for the armbar on the thumbtacks, but they'd start counting the pin. I'd have to push up onto my one shoulder, like into the thumbtacks to keep the armbar on, and Liv would be biting her hand, trying not to tap, and then pass out face down into the thumbtacks with her hand there to protect her face. But they said, WWE, we can't do thumbtacks anymore. Like, legally, we can't purposely injure people and cut their skin and stuff. So I was like, what about maple leaf pins? They said no. I was like, what about screws? They're on the side, on the ground. They said no.
I wonder whether this led to, last week we talked about how Ronda Rousey had pitched Lego, or wanted to pitch Lego for a spot. And then she went, thing is, AEW did it recently, so people would call us out for that. NXT did it before.
I was gonna say, didn't NXT do it as well with Wendy Chu?
Yes, NXT did it before then. Numerous indies have done it as well. It's a great spot. I kind of feel her concern for it. I think because everyone, when stuff like that happens, is so fight. So I get her concern, but I wonder whether the Lego bricks thing came about because thumbtacks had been shot down.
Yeah, it's sort of as a means to get around it a little bit.
I thought the finish was fine. I thought the finish told an interesting story that might lead into more intriguing stuff with Liv Morgan. And I'm not, would the thumbtacks have added to it? I'll be honest, probably not.
Do you reckon not?
I think it would have been a visual to have someone get dropped onto the tacks.
Yeah.
I don't think you need, someone's face pressed into drawing pins. I think the visual at the end of the match was perfectly fine for what it was.
Yeah.
I think you needed drawing pins.
Yeah,
that's alive.
Just to have it just because might not have been the right thing to do necessarily. Mega blocks. There you go. Just get some mega blocks out.
I'm surprised that no rest, and maybe there's a hardcore promotion somewhere that's done this. Maybe you, Rise in Leeds, have a board where you have upturned plugs.
Oh God, no.
Step on one of them first thing in the morning. Woohoo!
Oh God,
A
no.
board of upturned plugs.
What's the thing they do when they've got the board and all the nails, but then they distribute the weight, don't they? So it doesn't like pierce you or whatever. Let's try. That might not work.
I know Rise. I think Rise have a show this weekend in Yorkshire. So there's a little idea.
If you
If you in, it's an idea for Daddy Old Roddy there. Well, I've got this idea, lads. We're gonna do thumbtacks. That's an impression that maybe 12 people in the video will get. But thanks for watching. We'll have more wrestling news throughout the day at cultaholic.com. Tomorrow on the podcast feed, the Cultaholic Classic SmackDown review comes together in sweet harmony with the Cultaholic Classic Raw review and the Cultaholic Classic Nitro review.
It's a crossing of multiverses.
It is the Crisis on Infinite Arseholes 3.
That's very good.
And Matthew came up with that. We're getting together to do a watch-along of Invasion 2001. It's a hell of a night.
Yeah.
And it's all four of us basically just making rubbish Father Ted jokes and sometimes talking about the wrestling.
Bovril?
A little bit of Bovril chat.
That's all right.
A
That's
little
all
bit
right,
of
then.
Bovril chat.
That's all right.
Join us by subscribing to the Cultaholic podcast feed to get loads of watch-alongs, reviews, daily news, and interviews that you don't get on the YouTube channel. Anything you want to plug while we're here?
Twitch.tv/Cultaholic at 6 p.m. on a Monday. We're going to be playing spooky games, and we're still continuing with Resident Evil. And now the mold things, they can crawl, Tom, and I don't like it.
I don't like it when mold crawls.
I don't like it.
That means it's time to throw out the yogurt. More wrestling news throughout the day, as you say, at cultaholic.com. Keys.
Love you, bye.
Ah!
Jesus.
He's hardcore.
Extreme.
Hardcore.